Hi, good morning, good afternoon. Hi. I've had such hard, like last week
This meeting is being recorded.
between my an update that I did for my computer system that messed up all of my like documents, and it was an error with the update. They said, "Oh, we have a glitch that that's why." So I had to restore it. Meanwhile, all of my documents got like messed up, and 4 hours plus with Microsoft support. Just and it was an error. Like it wasn't my fault. Like you're updating. And then I have my health insurance. My Steve was so happy. He went on to Medicare, right? So we have insurance together, right, through the exchange. And he and during the time that he was getting the enrollment, my mom was very ill and I was like in the hospital and doing all of that. And I had to like do all these things and he was doing it for me or thinking that he was helping. And like literally the day that I'm going to the hospital, the day before she passed, I frantically like found what I thought my new insurance coverage because I would be the primary with my daughter. Ellen, I was off by $1 in my rush to do the coverage. I didn't realize it. Like the fee was like 1501 and I did 1502, whatever it was, $1.
Rejected it.
They didn't even tell me they rejected it, but even worse than that, they posted on my old account, so they never got payment for it. And then and then I'm on the phone literally with like five different representatives trying to rectify it. And I didn't even know if I had insurance coverage. And
God. I think they're bound to give you like a 30-day
oh, no, no,
grace
no,
period.
I was done. They whatever they did, they said like nothing.
Oh, wow, that's
I never
scary.
accepted my payment. They
That's
said,
scary.
and they put it was their error. That's the thing. It wasn't possibly my error. They posted it to an old account, and I was reading from what my new account was. So I was just dealing with
I
errors.
mean, how did you even know to look?
Well, it's because Steve is incredibly organized. He's like, "Did you get your insurance card yet?" And I'm like, "No, that's weird. I made the payment like a month ago." And he's like, "You got to check." And then when they called, they were like, "Oh no, we don't have a record of it." And they still don't have it. I had to get on, but the thing of it is, and I'll get to you because this is not about me, but and you have to be so patient and so nice.
I'm not. I'm not.
And Steve is not. Steve is horrible.
I'm the same way because I get like I'm guaranteeing my daughter who's still a student as for her apartment in the city she's trying to move into. I have never had to fill out such a
Oh my God. Oh no,
it's been taken as a month. We've been working on this for a month
oh my
and
God.
it keeps getting rejected.
Oh my God. I know. I hear you. It's the same. I had the same thing. Imagine doing that when you're in Italy. I was doing it while I was in Italy.
It's crazy.
It's
It's
crazy.
crazy. It
Yeah,
is crazy.
but you do have to deal with a lot of just, and then people who give you wrong information or and then they're going to call you back and they don't and then and then you just have to be nice, but
Otherwise, yeah, otherwise they'll hang up and you'll start over again.
no, no. So it's like
That's exactly right. You have to really try to stay calm. Well,
yeah,
it's
you
very
got to
hard.
stay calm and like write out everyone's name and just like kind of keep a record. But I'm telling you, it was like I had so much work to do last week. It took me like so many hours to do other things. I'm so behind.
Sorry to hear that.
But yeah, but listen, here is my collaborative chat today, and I'm really looking forward to chatting with you. I spoke to Catherine Miller this morning. I'm going to be
Nice.
speaking to Ken later, and I have some more people scheduled. So this is going to be nice. So this, Ellen, it's really informal. I do a really like short intro about who you are, and you'll like fill me in if I got anything wrong or just to to fill it in as you want. And I have those sample questions. If there's something that you want that's completely off limits, I won't go there. But I just try to do it 10, 15, more, not more than a half an hour. I started with all better intentions that it was going to be a 10-minute chat, but people like to talk. So it's like
No, that's right. All right, well, we'll see.
yeah, we'll see. There are others who don't, and that's okay too. So we'll just take it. I don't want it to be uncomfortable and we'll just take a flow. I always like to ask, like, how are you interested in collaborative? Bring it back to a good memorable experience in the organization. talk about what you do on your off time, kind of get to a sense about who influenced you, who are your mentors, what have you learned, and then also a recipe. I just try to get a recipe or what you like to cook, and then ending with where you hope to be in 10 years and where you hope to be with collaborative in some way, just to end with a hopeful thing, and then how people can reach you. So that's it. And then I do the taping, and then I can give you a copy of it. And if it was just horrible or you want to do it again, we can. If it's good to go, then Sarah just takes it, does her editing stuff, and then we're off. Okay?
Right.
All right, so let's just begin. It's recording right now, which I kind of should have learned. Catherine is the guru with this. She was like, stop video, stop video. Okay. All right, so tell me when you are ready.
Right.
Okay. All right. Welcome, everyone. I'm Melissa Goodstein, and I'm hosting the Collaborative Chats today. And I have the sincere pleasure of welcoming Ellen Jancko-Baken. Ellen has been a board member, a collaborative attorney, a board member, I think, for almost two. How long have you been a board member, Ellen?
When Andrea Vaca was the president, I came on. So how
Hey,
long ago was that?
it's been a little bit, and Ellen is the current vice president and incoming president of NYACP beginning in January. Your term begins, and I am so delighted to welcome Ellen today and to chat with her. So welcome, Ellen.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here.
So Ellen, where did you grow up? Tell me a little bit about your family.
Hey, I grew up in the Catskill Mountains, near Monticello, New York, and I went to Fallsburg Central High School. I'm a real hick, as they used to call me. I used to get a pleasure out of meeting all the city kids when they came up for the summer because there were all kinds of bungalow colonies and hotels, and that was fun. I have a sister, a brother, two stepbrothers, and a stepsister. My mother passed away, unfortunately, in 2015, which was, life altering for us. And I have three children, Kayla, Ben, and Sasha. They are 35, 33, and 30. And that's my family. I don't know if you want any more detail, but now I have a new dog named Brunson.
Brunson. How delightful. Wow. And the Catskills. So did you actually work in any of those resorts at all, like over the
So
summer?
I met Scott. I was a waitress and he was a busboy at Kutcher's Country Club.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
amazing. So
hmm
Did Scott live up in the area as well?
Scott is from Long Island and his family used to go up every summer to stay at a bungalow colony. So that's where they were there for the summers.
Wow. So is your favorite movie Dirty Dancing?
Yeah, everybody asks us. I don't know if it's my favorite movie, but I can
But
relate to it, that's for
it's a
sure.
it's a special movie. Oh, that's so
Mm.
interesting. So nice. How often did you get into the city? Did you go into the city at all?
Go in as kids, well, we used to go see the Rockettes or go
Yeah.
shopping or go to see shows, but I wouldn't say on a regular basis, but yeah, we'd get in. We'd get in. I was very familiar with the city. And then my brother ultimately moved in and my sister moved in for a little while. I lived there for a while. So yeah. But when I was a kid, not that often, just once in a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah. So can I ask you, like, how you're a collaborative attorney? How did you get involved in collaborative divorce? And you were a practicing attorney before. Tell me a little bit about your career progression.
Yeah, I was a litigator I still am, unfortunately. But I'm a very spiritual person and I really believe in the ripple effect I know this is going to sound a little strange, but what you put out into the universe comes back. And I really believe that families deserve to have a holistic, you know, protective circle around them in this horrible transition. So I was thrilled to learn about collaborative law and to be trained, and I wish more people were doing it, but I truly believe in what it offers to families. From the bottom of my soul, I believe in it. So I'll keep fighting for more people to do it and to learn about it.
That's amazing. That's
Mm.
amazing. Where do you think that passion comes from? I mean, for the law, like, how did you even get into the law and this area?
It's a good question. I used to think about, well, my mother used to say me that I never shut up and I was very argumentative. So I used to think about being a lawyer, but I didn't go to college for that. I went to college and got into the film business.
Mm,
And for the first 6 years out of college, I worked first as like a PA, then as a producer in commercials. And I was planning on opening up my own production company. It didn't work out. And so I just decided to go to law school. I said, this is something I thought
yeah.
about, so I'm going to go. And I went. And I was not thinking about matrimonial or family law. I was in a firm in the city doing securities litigation. Hated it, and so I ultimately ended up in family law. I didn't, obviously, at that time, collaborative law wasn't a thing, or at least I didn't know about it. This was in the late 80s, early 90s, and then as time went on and I got introduced to collaborative law, I pounced on it. I just love it. I mean,
Wow.
it's certainly an area of law that is ripe for that kind of process.
That's right. So that's interesting. You didn't think about going into like the entertainment aspect and using your law degree. Did you think about that at all, or like?
Not really, because I really like working with people, and that's really about contracts mostly.
That's right. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Well, who were your role models when you kind of entered in? Were there role models that you kind of leaned into, or mentors along the way that helped, inspire you or
I
help
mean,
you?
it was really a pretty simple trajectory. I mean, my role models in life and about my feeling that you have to help others and it takes a village and a community is my grandmother and my mother. Those are my true role models.
Yeah.
My grandmother was very community oriented, as was my mother. My legal role models, I mean, I'm trying to think about, how I got into family law was when I decided to get out of securities litigation.
Mhm.
I didn't know what to do. So I wanted originally to go into the U.S. Attorney's Office, but I had just started a family and
Yeah.
I just couldn't think of those kind of hours. It just wasn't going to work for me. So I went to a series of county bar lectures. And I remember it was Florence Fass from Long Island who was giving lectures on, she spoke about family
I
law.
remember
And I
her.
thought,
Yeah.
wow, that sounds like something I'd really like.
Yeah.
And the first person I worked for, I'm not gonna even mention, was not a great fit, but I ended up with Neil. And Neil, I've been with Neil Fredman ever since. He's taught me so many things about how to be a great matrimonial lawyer, and I've also learned things not to do. So
All right.
I
Wow.
learned a lot from him, and I'm still with him. So
Wow.
I'd say
How long has it been?
I joined him in '94.
Oh my God. So this is like 30 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, we've been
Oh,
together that
that's a
long.
long time. It's like a
Yeah,
marriage, right?
yeah,
That,
yeah.
wow.
So, I mean, people that I learn from in terms of collaborative, Catherine Miller. I mean, there's people out there that are really ones that you look to for
Yeah.
a good process in this area. In terms of litigation, I actually my husband, who's an excellent lawyer and an excellent writer, and so he's taught me a lot as well.
That's amazing. That's nice
Yeah.
to have that support. Wow. So how did you balance? I mean, 94, because I have a child born in 94, my oldest. How do you balance the family and work? Have you figured that out? Are you still figuring it out, or how do you do that?
Anymore. I mean, when I first started practicing, I had just had my first. She's
Yeah.
35. I remember walking into this corporate law firm with like 11 by 14 of them. I put her on the wall, and I think I think ultimately I said, I can't do this. I mean, I just can't do this. I cannot, I want to be a mother, but I also want to be a lawyer. So I have to figure out how to balance it. So that's one of the reasons I got out of that lifestyle. And then I ended up having, two more kids, and I worked with Neil for the first, I'd say 10, maybe 10 years. It was part time. I worked 3 full days and had Mondays and Fridays off. When all my kids were in school, I switched to Monday to Friday, and I'd leave at 3 and go be with them.
Wow.
And
Wow.
then as they got older, I went back full time.
Wow. That was nice that he was very accommodating.
So accommodating.
That's
He was
that's
great.
cool to have that support.
His values are really a good balance, and I needed that in my life. So
So important. That's so important to work with people who share the
yeah,
same values and support your values. And
right.
um, that's really, really special that you had that relationship and that fortuitous. How did you even meet Neil? How did that come about?
There was a woman on my floor. I lived on Garden Road in Eastchester, Scarsdale, and she had one of her best friends was Neil's sister-in-law, and I was talking to her about wanting to change, and she, oh, my friend's brother-in-law is, he's a partner in a matrimonial firm. I'm like, ooh, can you introduce me?
Oh, yeah.
And worked out. It worked out. Yeah.
Wow, wow. And speaking about, your, along in your career, is there something that you would tell your younger self to prepare for your career ahead?
Oh, I would try to tell myself to be more comfortable in my skin, and I would try to
Mm.
tell myself not to sweat the small stuff, but I'm still telling myself that.
Well,
No
well,
matter how old I get, I'm still telling myself
I
that.
know, right?
I think women are always feeling like they're not good enough, and we're probably better than more than half the men, but we just feel this like, oh, we got to keep trying and doing
I
more and
know,
doing
I know.
better. And
I
so,
agree. I
yeah,
agree. We have to give ourselves more grace, and it's really hard.
it's
Um,
hard.
and the work that we do is hard, right? We're coming in, we're taking in a lot of conflict, a lot of trauma from our clients, and trying to support them in the most difficult time in their lives. How do how do you take care of yourself so that you show up for your clients in the best way possible?
When I'm mindful about it, not always mindful about it, I try to, take walks and do yoga. And I used to meditate before every meeting, just so I could envelop the people, even my, my client, my client's spouse, and just to try to be there in a way that's serves the whole family. But it's, I don't do it all the time. And it's, if I'm not mindful, I don't take care of myself, and I can get very stressed out, as all of us can.
Mhm. I know, but
So
at least you have an awareness, right? And checking in. And yeah, it's not easy. It's not
it's
easy.
not,
It's
it's
not.
not.
And is there like, doing this work for over 30 years, is there a divorce tip that comes to mind if you were to tell the clients, like, this is like the biggest tip to help you kind of get through this?
Actually, my biggest tip I would say for them is baby steps. I mean, they
Mm.
come in and they're just trying to figure it all out. And that, I think, is the source of so much of the stress. So I like to lay out the initial steps of calm down, let's do
Mm.
this, and this, and then we'll see where we are, and I'm in it with you. So baby steps is what I would say. I would say for practitioners, I would say the tip would be manage your clients' expectations, because
Mm.
that's that then they can be okay. But when they have expectations that just cannot be met,
Yeah.
it's always they're always gonna be the victim.
Yeah, that's so true, Ellen. And is there a particularly memorable experience that comes to mind when you were doing the collaborative? I mean, you do also have like you still are doing litigation. You have your collaborative practice. I don't know if you're doing any mediations, but is there a memorable collaborative experience that you said, oh, wow, this process, wow, this really served this family?
I saw that on one of the questions, and I was thinking really hard. I can't come up with anything in particular, except for the fact that when you get to the point of signing the agreement, I think you've served your clients well because you've used this process. So I can't think of any one thing that sticks out, but
Right. Yeah, I get it. And what about NYCP? You've certainly, you've been a member for, I don't know,
all the
15
time.
years? Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty long time. Is there a memorable NYCP experience as being part of our association that that comes to mind for you?
I wouldn't give one example. I would just say working with in the last few years, especially under your leadership, really mostly, I would say. I have had such incredible connections made and relationships built, and really enjoy working with people that care as much as I do about this, if not more, some of them. And it's a wonderful experience. Everybody's so kind and caring, and I don't know that's the last couple, 2, 3 years have been
Oh,
really wonderful.
well, that's wonderful. I mean, it is
Yeah,
so nice working with like-minded, kind professionals who are there to kind of pick you up when you're needed and,
yeah.
bolster you up and give you that support. It's a nice place to be in, for sure.
I mean, I compare when I compare it to litigation, I literally can. get a buzz from my outside office saying so and so's on the phone in litigation, and I could literally feel my stomach just drop.
God,
And
yeah.
I never feel that way in with my collaborative colleagues ever.
Wow.
It's a real, it's a real difference, a real dichotomy.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. And in terms of, what you do on your off time and, is there, if you had your day off, what would that day off look like for you?
Like to First of all, I love to read and I love to knit, so I would probably try to spend that a lot of the time doing that. I also like getting a massage and
Good.
self-care, get my nails done, which I don't do too often, so I would probably try to fit all those things into my day off.
Okay. I think you could do it. And do
Yeah,
you like to cook, Ellen?
I do love to cook. I
And
do love to cook.
oh, that's great because Ellen, I'm trying to get together like a cookbook of our talented NYCP members do like to cook and they're very creative people. Is there a signature dish that your family, your friends say, Ellen, make this, make your
I do make a great eggplant parmesan, and people always ask me to make my mother's stuffed cabbage, which I actually made yesterday for dinner tonight because the kids are home
Oh
for
my God,
Thanksgiving. So
that's wonderful. Do you do
yeah,
it with raisins or without raisins?
my mother does it with raisins, but since Scott, my husband, does not like it, I
Neither
don't
do
put it
I.
in.
Oh, good, good,
He
good.
likes it more sour than sweet.
Okay, all right. So would you be willing to share your stuffed cabbage
I'd
recipe?
have to. It's my mother's recipe. You
Oh,
know, it's and she never really wrote recipes. Like she would
yeah.
write sugar, and you'd have no idea how much to put in. Or you know what I'm saying? So,
Oh, yeah.
I have to kind of wing her recipes. But sure, I would share that. So nothing. I'm not a fan. I can follow any recipe, and I love to do that. Get recipes offline and follow
Right,
it. It's so
right,
much
right,
fun. I'm not a fancy cook. I just,
right. But it's your love language. You cook with love.
I love it. I really, I we have about 5 years ago we bought a lake house. And it's like one big open room
Oh,
that overlooks the lake.
oh
There's
my,
nothing more enjoyable for me than to be cooking. I cook for the family. Everybody's in the room, and I'm
yeah.
just looking out at the lake cooking.
Oh
It's so
my
much
God.
fun.
Oh
It's so
my
nice.
God.
It
Wow.
really is nice. That I enjoy a lot.
Wow. That
Yeah,
sounds perfect. Oh
it
my
is
God.
perfect.
Are you going there? Do you go there for the holidays? Like
We
how?
do because my sister's there, and so we
Um,
we share Thanksgiving with her. So
oh,
she lives there full time.
that's
Yeah,
wonderful. Oh, so you're going there. It's Thanksgiving coming up, so you're going to be there?
so we're gonna leave Wednesday and spend the weekend.
Wow, enjoyable. Well, that's
Yeah.
going to be really restorative for you, right? Just
Yes,
to
I
take
hope so.
care.
Yeah, I could use it. I'm sure
Yeah,
you could too.
I can. I can. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to have that gratitude for family and to cook and to be with and connect because that's what life is all about,
What it's all about.
We
Exactly.
can really show up for our clients in the best way that we can. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
amazing. So Ellen, I also know that you're also involved in your community. You're so humble, but I know that you are involved so much in your community and so much with NYCP, with the upcoming presidency. Where do you hope to be in 10 years and what do you hope for collaborative?
Well, I'll start with collaborative. I hope that collaborative is as familiar to the public as mediation is,
Mm.
and that people choose it on a more regular basis. That's what I hope. Honestly, for myself in 10 years, I hope to be retired. But it doesn't mean I wouldn't, stay involved in some way or another, because I'm not someone that's just going to hang up
I
but
don't think
I,
you are.
but I definitely, I mean, look, I've told you this many times. I wish I was able to switch out of litigation entirely, and maybe that's what I'll do, and I'll be able to continue taking on cases, but I will not litigate, after a certain period of time. I've got to stop. It's just too much for me. It's too much.
Too much. And Willie, you're an amazing attorney and collaborative attorney, so why not? But that's been a common response. Most people, mediation has really taken hold. Collaborative less so, but I do think that interdisciplinary approach is something that is so needed and clients are so supported in ever how way it's done, but that approach to divorce in this holistic way, I think is just a better way of
It's a
approaching.
better way, and even though people think it's a more expensive way, it's not, because when you don't have that team, clients expect the lawyers to. It's not our wheelhouse
I
to.
know, I know.
So it's like. you get stuck, and you could spend so much time and money
Right.
trying to move forward without a mental health professional, for example. And it would really, if you had that from the outset, you'd just keep moving. And
Right.
it's, I don't know how to get that across to people,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it's interesting. And why does litigation ensue? I think it's weaponizing emotions and dealing with irrationality in that way. And that's,
and also not just weaponizing it, but not believing that you can participate in the process of like you can't make decisions, or
yeah,
you
you're
can't deal
basing,
with your spouse,
yeah,
and the answer is you can, with
right.
the help of a lot of support, you can, and your future would look better. I mean, I'm involved in one litigation right now, and by the way, I know a lot of people. I feel a lot of people have judgment about collaborative professionals that still litigate, and I want to say that actually my litigation experience allows me to really be able to say to someone, don't do it. This is what's going to happen. Because so I'm in a case right now where this family is doomed,
Mm,
doomed. The kids will never be the same. The parents will, they hate each other right now because of the terrible things that's happening. And the attorney, churns it, puts it, it's just terrible.
I'm
It's
sorry to
just,
hear that.
it really is terrible. I'm so sorry for this family.
Yeah, but that's interesting though, Ellen. I think your perspective of what it can look like as like, go on this track, is very important and very insightful and something that you can share with your clients from your own experience
Right.
to
That's
help them
right.
guide down a different road, a better road,
Right.
hopefully
A
for you.
better road. Yes. Yes.
Anyway, this has been so lovely, Ellen, to get to know you, to connect with you. I am so looking forward to your presidency. I think the NYCP is for a treat. You're so accomplished. You have so much great passion for your work and great ideals, and your leadership is going to be tremendous. So I feel so comforted that you're going to be taking over. And I think NYCP is going to grow even further with your leadership. So thank
I
you.
appreciate your confidence, but remember, you will be helping me. So,
I am definitely, I said I am there. I am helping you all along, and this
because
is,
it's a little
it, it,
daunting. So
it takes
remember
a village.
back.
I do remember back, it takes a village, and we're all there to support each other. It's a true collaboration, both in the leadership as well as the association and the community we serve. Really.
Thank you, Melissa.
And Ellen, if people want to reach you, is there like a website? You have like a website and that people
Yeah,
can.
FBN. Oh God, I don't even know my website number. You could just
Well,
email me.
I think if you Google you'll find it, and certainly on the NYCP website. So
Yes.
thank you, Ellen, for your
Thank you.
time and your service. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa, for your time and your service. And I mean that. So, all right. I'll
Thank
see you
you.
soon.
See you soon. Take care.
Okay.